The sentencing proceedings in the Tshegofatso Pule murder case will begin tomorrow. It's after the High Court in Johannesburg found mastermind Ntuthuko Shoba guilty of planning his pregnant girlfriend's killing. Newzroom Afrika's Mnisi is watching that story. And of course, this has been a story that has gripped the imagination of South Africans at large. And people have followed it very closely, Linda. Tshegofatso Pule, unfortunately, has become not just an example of the gender-based violence that is faced by many women in this country, but many people feel that what the outcomes of this case will be a direct showing on access to justice and whether or not, the criminal justice system can put the interests of gender-based violence victims and survivors like Tshegofatso Pule at the heart of its sentencing.
Absolutely, Kath. And if you look at the manner in which this case has unfolded from day one, it seems as though because of the scrutiny it enjoyed, there was, of course, a level of, dedication, perhaps from the criminal justice system itself, in terms of making sure that the arrests were made swiftly and they were brought to court. And, in a matter of months, we saw a guilty plea, not even a guilty plea, rather, the killer in the matter pleading guilty, and then later on we saw the mastermind Ntuthuko Shoba being arrested, and now we're at a stage where he's found guilty. You'll remember this is a case that stems from June 2020 and we're in 2022, and so much has happened. And even during the trial, Kathy, you'll remember how the spotlight shone on the police and the work that they did in terms of investigating this matter, but also the shortcomings that happened in terms of the investigation itself. So the conviction obviously was welcomed by the public. You'll remember they've always been supporting the Pule family, even when during the time of the discovery of her body. You'll also remember in the very same streets that I'm standing in, the night before her burial, there were scores and scores of people who were in solidarity with the Pule family. So, of course, all eyes are on those sentence proceedings in terms of what exactly the court will hand down in sentencing. I've got with me one of the neighbors who knew Tshegofatso Pule, Kathy, but also was equally touched by this particular matter. Fela gore jaka Ntuthuko Shoba ba tlo mo sentensa kaosane, the sentence proceedings di tlo thoma kaosane, lona ska batho ba phagati and batho ne ba mo tseba tshego le ikutlwa jang ka seo, and ke eng se le se batla?
Nna le mphagati e re ke nna ene le mo re tsamang re bua ke fila gore Shoba sentse a kry life sentence. And a life sentence, not a now ya democracy. Life sentence, ele ya apartheid. Ele bareng ha bar life sentence, bar life sentence. Diliga jele, whereby otlotso ha mabota a tronko awa. A ke taba e ya gore go fa 10 life sentence a ke bone, because ke in 10 life sentence motho o na le only one life. If bar life sentence, ebe life sentence es nam parole ka mogare. Rona re lositse rona Shoba ene o ko tronkong go bone ba ya ba mmone rona re etela libitla. So Shoba a kry life sentence. Life sentence ya mannete, life sentence isn't 10 life sentence ya mannete e leng gore ka sezulu ba re ke diliga jele o tswa ko tronko mabota a wele, because if Shoba a ka tswa in 5 years, hell's gonna break loose. So rakopa ra rapela gore Shoba a kry life sentence. It's in 5 years or 20 years. After 5 years, bare na itshwere gantle ko tronkong, well behavior, so atswe. No ways. It over World War II.
A re bue ka se etsagetseng ko Tshego hane le lona le utlwa ska mphagate gore Tshego seba mothotsi o bulailwe and na le pregnant se le tshwere yang, and especially as a bomme?
Yo, ya no umpusetsa ko morago, o batla kelle, o batla kelle umpusetsa ko morago. Wa tseba taba ya Tshego like being pregnant 8 months. Ngwana o wa phela already ka ke setse e le ngwana, it's not a fetus. Ke ngwana o ile gore na emetse gore atle. Ntho e re hetile gagolo ga wa tseba ga yo, I don't know how to describe it. Gagolo mo ile gore re palla le go goja, ne re palla le gore like mind tsa rona yo a ke tsebe. Ne re sa khone go etsa next, ne re sa khone go concentrate mo whatever e tsagala mo life re shebile taba ya Tshego. Because Tshego wa tseba it was ngwana o ileng gore she was ngwana o ileng gore o reserved. Ke ngwana o ileng gore o ka se re ka o sane o mo bona ko di khonentse feng ka o sane kwa le, understand. So it was a shock to us gore re Tshego tlhokofetse. And for now it was worse. Tshego o tlhokofala yang ke ne ke na le ene some few days. And wa bolaiwa wa hengiwa. Joang, why? So le Shoba if ne khona gala sentse a hengiwe le ene. Ya ka a ila khono henga a roma chomi ya ge a hengetse go kwa ko Durban Deep. Le Shoba a hengiwe. A hengiwe.
Ke lebogela nako ya gago Honey Mukunga, that's Kathy speaking to us about the expectation from the community. You can tell how heartbroken she is when I ask her about what this crime did to this community and how they felt at the time when her body was discovered. She says that she's known Tshego to be a very quiet person who would never be found in the street corners, and to hear that she was killed in the manner that she was killed is heartbreaking. The expectation then from the community is that she gets a proper life sentence, as she puts it, until, in her words, until the walls of the prison fall off, really. Not that they would see him in the streets, owing to parole or even the fact that he was well behaved inside prison. There is, of course, growing calls for a harsher sentence. We spoke earlier on to the Tshegofatso Pule Foundation, who are also calling for a harsher sentence in this matter. So, of course, then all eyes will be on the High Court in Johannesburg when sentence proceedings start tomorrow. There is, of course, great expectation in terms of that particular, sentence.